Sweet. All right. We are set up. We are ready. We have drinks. We are recording. Yeah, I think this. Let's see. You can see us. You can see J-Hope.
You can see J-Hope.
All is well in the world.
Can I just tell you that Pinterest try to recommend some boards or something.
Ooh.
And it's top. And then comma, wanna be me, I guess. How dare it call me out?
How does it feel, buddy?
I hate this day. I've been called out so many times today. I do not like it.
I do feel kind of guilty, but also at the same time, they've been absolutely
They're too true, and I do not like it.
Yes, there we go. I love it personally. It's very fun.
I've been personally called out, and I am upset.
You are so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being my friend. Well, hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Hello.
This is Tipsy Mysteries.
Woo.
Woo woo. This is our fun, super cool Explosion Time podcast show where we, your hosts, I'm Kate.
And I'm B.
We're going to tell you about some fun, spooky stories.
Yeah.
This includes anything from the paranormal, true crime, conspiracies, cryptids, mysteries.
Yeah. Anything and everything in between. Anything that other people might be like, that's a weird subject to bring up at work. You should probably not talk about that. We're your people to talk to about it.
Yeah, you ghouls. Here we are.
Yeah.
So this is episode 29.
29.
Part 2.0.
Yeah.
So this one we recorded last time. It was all good. Everything was fine.
I don't remember most of it because I was really drunk.
You were absolutely very drunk. Maybe it was for the best. Because I went to go edit it. Somehow, some way, my entire length of recording was all static.
Your side, your mic.
It was in all the episodes we've done, I've never seen it do that before. Still don't know why. Still don't know what happened. Who knows? Who knows? So I went to listen to it, and it was just all static. And then out of nowhere, your laugh comes in. And it's truly a time, quite honestly.
Honestly, it should be a ringtone.
I'm going to see if I can turn that into a ringtone just for you.
I listened to the video that you sent me of it. But I was getting ready for work. And so I was like, okay, I'll play it, let it load as I'm doing my stuff. And I just kept playing on repeat. I'm like, that's a good ringtone. That's a good ringtone. I would have my own laugh as a ringtone. I think I could even send it to my boss because she loves my laugh so much.
Oh my God.
That's a little creepy though, because I'm like, it might sound like she has favorites if I do that, but.
I'm just saying, I do use your laugh for many time codes of things. Where should I put the intro music? Where should I put this? Where should I put that?
You just look for the spike in the audio file.
I've shown you the spikes. They're fun.
I've seen them many times. I lived them.
You lived them.
I lived the spikes.
Guys, V has the best laugh ever. Love it. 10 out of 10. Well, buddy. How was your week?
It's been a good week. It's been a good week, doing my thing, working, being me, doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to cut that out, right? Eventually. In some sort of way.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's been a good week. I've been doing stuff, chilling, talking to people, working, planning out things. My dog's sick. I have to go to the vet and fix my boy.
Fix the boy.
His little kneecap has problems, sadly.
His poor baby man.
His poor baby man, yeah.
Poor baby man.
But every day he gets a little bit better, so I'm hoping he isn't sick.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need surgery, so then if he doesn't need surgery, I can do really cool fun stuff.
And also just make sure he's all good.
And not be so stressed and worried about my boy all the time.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be good.
Yeah.
He's a big baby.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He did, like he hasn't cried at all about being in pain.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because like when he had his arthritis got really bad when I first got him, like he would just randomly out of nowhere just yell.
Poor baby.
It was scary.
Poor boy. He's just little. Itty bitty.
He's such a good boy.
He's best boy.
He really is.
There's Charlie.
Was it Charlie that Charlie's attacking.
Are you the new host?
She's the new host.
Wow. You guys are going to get a lot of like chirps and screams.
I have cheesecake on my lip.
I understand. We got cheesecake.
We got cheesecake.
Let's see what happened this week.
Look at my cat. Look at my girl.
She's
How was your week?
Ooh, so Alex got me to start watching bike anime.
Bike anime. You a mushy pedal?
Yeah, there we go.
You a peta? Ooh, don't need to have that play.
Whoop. Guys, I didn't realize how good it was.
Where was this 4 years ago when I was really obsessed with this?
Seriously.
And Charlie was a wee baby.
She's a little baby. I didn't realize how invested I would get in bikes. The characters are all very good. I'm very much digging it.
It is such a good anime.
It's so good.
I watched 3 seasons in 3 days when I was going through a depressive episode.
It'd be like that.
It do be like that.
The bike boys, they help.
The bike boys help.
Bike boys help.
I wonder if I make Charlie watch it again, if she would still be into movies as she used to be when she was a kitten before she got spayed.
She might.
Yeah. I always want to replay Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit because she used to love those movies. And she loved bike anime too.
It feels right. It feels right.
It's such a good, wholesome show.
Yeah, so if y'all haven't watched it,
you should watch it.
go watch it. It's really good.
I don't watch anime anymore, but like...
Neither do I. Like, last time I saw, it's just been My Hero Academia.
I think the last anime I watched was Haikyuu when it was like on season 2.
Oh, God, that's been...
Or season...
a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
So if you guys want another sports anime...
Yeah.
Bike anime.
Bike anime is really good.
Go watch it and then talk to us, please, and thank you.
You can't make me rewatch it, though.
What if we rewatch it together?
There's so many episodes. I don't think I could do that again. Okay, maybe if I have another depressive episode.
Okay, yes.
I
Not
like
like a
I
depressive
could
episode, but for bonding time.
bonding time. We
There
can
we
do
go.
that. I have like a week off soon, so
Ooh, I like this plan.
I'll be busy for a couple of days, but I'll have a couple of other days to do stuff. So
Hell yeah, I work 1 day a week, so we're good.
gosh, I wish that was my life.
Oh, yet I still don't have enough time. Weird.
Is it the ADHD and the
And the school.
in the school?
And then helping my brother with his school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the general, like, being the eldest child. You know, the usual.
Can't relate.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy.
I'm the youngest.
You are the youngest. Well, since we're here, since we are queer,
We are queer.
since we do not have beer, thankfully.
That's because we're re-listening to some episodes. Those are some rough episodes.
Ooh. Do you want to hear a story?
Yeah.
So I know you already know this one.
But you know what? I am more sober now than I was last time.
That
Which
is true.
An amazing feat to have done because I am always like halfway done with my drink by the time we start recording.
Yes.
And this time I waited, and now the tequila has all sinked down to the bottom.
So it's going to be a fun time for all of us.
My strawberries.
It's strawberries.
Not my strawberries.
Cherries.
My cherries.
You're very sure cherries.
I was thinking about strawberries.
We're having a great time, guys. All right, so you already know my story. But for those listening at home or in the car or maybe on your Alexa speaker, I don't know.
You could use a Google Home and have it tell you random scriptures too.
Yeah, shout out to episode 2. Terrifying. So, today, my dear friend, my dear listeners, I'm going to tell you all about Popper the Poltergeist.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this story.
This one is bonkers. It's like short, but somehow my story still ended up being 7 pages because
That's just how you do it.
7 pages is my middle name, apparently. Who would have thought?
Do you have a middle name?
It's Marley, but with
That's right.
it's spelt Marlee.
That's right.
That's my middle name.
That's cute. That's a cute middle name.
Shucks. You have a middle name?
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's Ann.
Is it Ann?
A-N-N.
Oh, that one's cute too. I like it. No?
I don't know. You know, it's also a camper's middle name. Ann. And then there's also someone else, and I'm like, I should change my name. Anyways, we're going to cut that out.
This is fine. So, are y'all ready to learn about this wacky banana bonkers poltergeist?
I am so excited.
Yes.
Fucking love this.
Sounds like a fucking sitcom.
So freaking hyped. It's so good. Okay, tell me about this boy.
Okay. So, our story begins back on February 3rd, 1958.
I was born back then in 1958.
You were alive, yes.
It was me.
You were thriving.
I was thriving.
The Herman family lived in Seaford, New York, in a typical 1950s era home in a quiet conservative neighborhood. In the family, there was James and Lucille Herman, and their 2 children, James and Lucille.
I hate that.
13 and 12. I don't know why they named their kids after them.
That's because that's the thing back then. I hate that so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my brother, my dad, my uncle, my grandpa. I think I have like a cousin or someone else, all with like same name or a variation of the same name, and I'm like, I never want to meet someone with the same name again. Just in case, like, it would be my luck to like date someone with that name, and I'd be like, I hate this so much. This is why I don't date men. No, it's not.
I understand.
I have many reasons for why I don't date men.
I'm gay.
I wish that was me.
I understand.
Like it'd be so much nicer.
Girls pretty.
Girls are pretty. I love girls.
Me too.
Remember?
Oh, girls.
Just girls.
Just girls. That's it. That's our podcast.
I love girls.
So,
I was married so many people.
You do.
I do that. I need to stop.
You quit that out.
Okay.
So, yeah, they have the Lucille and James and then Lucille and James, which they call him Jimmy for short, just for
Is
further
it like Lucy
notes.
and Jimmy?
I think they call her Lucille still. I don't know why.
That's stupid.
I don't know
why. Does the girl get like stuck with like the old lady name still?
Because it's 1958.
Damn it.
It do be like that.
It do.
So, here is where the story begins. Popper the Poltergeist. He made himself first known at 3:30 in the afternoon of February 3rd, 1958. On this day, Lucille Herman was there to welcome her children home from school and prepare dinner. Soon after the children entered the kitchen, chaos erupted in the house. In a matter of moments, 6 different bottles containing liquid in different rooms of the house suddenly began to pop. And they popped their caps and they started to dance around. No one saw the bottles move or explode. Is that Charlie?
Yeah.
Baby cool. There we go.
I was gonna fix that afterwards.
So cute. So no one saw the bottles move or explode, but they all heard the caps as they popped loose and the bottle's contents went spewing into the air. It's just a fucking mess, basically. They would later discover an opened bottle of bleach in the basement utility room, a bottle of liquid starch in the kitchen, bottles of shampoo and medicine in the bathroom, and a bottle of holy water that had opened in the master bedroom.
It's always the holy water that gets to me.
And this, like, you'll see, this holy water comes into play a few times, which is weird.
Just the way that she's in between.
Yeah, so for those not watching the video, Charlie V's cat is currently in between her speaker and the pop filter.
You mean the mic?
Currently between the mic and pop filter. Brain no work. Head
Brain
empty.
no work.
Head empty. No thought.
Head empty. Only holy water.
Only holy water. So yeah, that was spilled and they're like, that's weird. So each of the bottles had been sealed with a twist-off metal or plastic cap, and there were no corks or crimped caps that might have somehow become loose.
That's what always gets me, is that it's a
fucking
screw on.
cap.
There's no way for the pressure to like really pop that off.
No.
Especially in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a day, where They're not even in the room with it happening.
Exactly. It's like 6 different bottles throughout the house.
Stop rubbing
Different
yourself.
products. There should be no reason.
Yeah.
But, the usual. So, puzzled, Mrs. Harriman, she called her husband, who was at work, and she told him what happened. And he was just like, okay, that's really weird, and he was confused. But since no one had been hurt, he decided that there was no need for him to, come home early. Mm-hmm. 1950s man.
As one does.
As one does. So...
just ignore the problem.
Boom, done. Hi, Charlie. So, Mr. Harriman, he ended up arriving home just before 7 p.m., and after hearing his wife's story, he believed that some sort of chemical reaction in the products caused the bottle's lids to blow, and the fact that they did so all at the same time was merely a coincidence. So he quickly investigated the bottles when he arrived home, and he actually confessed to being baffled when he found that they were all the screw tops, and that they would have no way of just, simply popping off.
Yeah, they wouldn't. That makes no sense for how that happened.
Absolutely not.
I like how he just comes in afterwards like, huh.
I suppose this is rather weird. Okay. So, since nothing more happened, the family decided to write the experience off as, quote, just one of those funny things, end quote.
Just one of those things that happens,
It's 1958. Just don't worry about it.
We live in denial.
We live in denial.
We just don't talk about it. It's like, people needing to go to therapy or, like, take medication for things.
Teehee.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it. Never
It's not
mind
happening.
all that.
You being gay, we don't talk about
We
that.
don't talk about that. Just don't worry. The 50s. So.
Oh, so much fur.
Should have so much fur. So, 2 uneventful days passed, and the popping bottles were almost forgotten. Then, on Thursday, once again, at about the same time that the Herman children came home from school, another 6 bottles popped their lids.
I like how it's always 6.
It's fucking weird. I don't know why. It's just weird. So, there was a bottle of nail polish that burst open, which...
Nail polish.
Seems rather rude, in my opinion.
It's gonna stuck.
That's not coming off.
That's gonna suck to try to clean.
Which I can't remember if I told you guys before, but one instance when my sister was like 5, she grabbed a bottle of red nail polish, and my mom was like, oh no. And then she chucked it at the wall.
That was her thing for a long time.
You could not show any emotion if she grabbed
something.
If it had value, it was done. Gone.
You had to play the hard game.
Yeah.
Charlie, I need you to get off the cord and then not scare the other people.
Not scare your co-host.
Yeah.
She's cute, but...
I'm trying to contain her.
Guys, I promise Charlie's really cute. She just is, scary.
She's scary.
She's scary. So, yeah, bottle...
That's it.
Of nail polish burst open. There was also a bottle of rubbing alcohol, a bottle of bleach, detergent, starch, and the bottle that contained the holy water also burst open. Oh, did it freeze?
Mm-hmm.
Dang tootin' scootin'.
Look at those eyebrows.
Love that. Okay. Hello. Okay. I think it's cool. Boosh. So, yeah, that happened. And, it's just almost an exact repeat of the performance on February 3rd. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay then, and try to ignore it again.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next night, on Friday night, it happened again, and another 6 bottles burst open without explanation.
The third 6.
The third 6. What
Creepy.
could go wrong?
You
know when your whole bottle of holy water just bursts 3 times?
Yeah. She's been biting me this whole time.
How do you remain stone-faced?
I'm used to it.
She's like, you guys can't see it, but she's like chomping.
Yeah, she's leaving little...
It's
Oh,
your
it's my pinky! Not the pinky. You can go for the thumb, but not the pinky. Come on.
Your dog
Now she's stuck to my jeans. Okay, we good? Just like, I'm just trying to keep this arm up so she doesn't try to bite you.
Thank you. I'm sorry she bites you.
That's fine. As long as it's not my face again. I'm like, it's a lot less like random, not random, but like a lot of surprise commentary from your story now because I know most of it, but more so me being bit by my cat.
Same effect.
Same effect.
You guys
still
won't
a lot
even know.
happening.
It's a great time.
You ready to go? Do you want to go?
You got enough flesh?
You want more flesh? Can you not do that to her?
Guys, what she likes to do is she likes to...
She makes too much eye contact.
Yeah, she looks directly at me. And if I move, she lunges. And it's terrifying because unlike other cats I've seen, if she, like, it tries to bite you and you back away, normally a cat be like, whatever. She keeps going after you.
Wildcat.
She just keeps going.
What team?
Wildcats!
My
Get you out of
cat.
the game. Love that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
I know you did. That's because my cat's terrifying. I tell people all the time, like, she's terrifying. And they're like, I'm going to make her love me. And I'm like, okay. Okay. I'm like, I'll force her to love some people, but it'll be a long process.
Like, Alex has been trying for over a year.
And it's like a weekly, bi-weekly thing, too. So.
Yeah. Like, Alex has been working it, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your daughter.
It's a lot of work to get close to her, just like her mother.
Your Pisces walls? They've been broken.
Nope.
Much like these bottles. So, happened again, and there are 6 bottles, and they're like, well, that's pretty gosh darn weird. So, Mr. Herman, he began to suspect that his science-loving son had somehow rigged the bottles to pop, just to scare his family. He's like,
I love that.
His darn fucking science.
That gosh darn science in this house.
No Christianity, only science.
No God, only science.
So, he thought that perhaps his son had planted some carbon capsules inside the bottles and timed it so that he could get home from school in time to see the startled expression on his mother's face. I don't know.
That seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know how on earth you would, do that.
And,
Side note.
how does this child have access to do all that?
To carbon capsules.
And to make a mechanism to time it perfectly.
He's 12.
I don't know.
Okay.
He's just really crafty.
All that science.
All that science in his head instead of God.
I don't know, Jimmy. I don't know.
Empty, only science.
Shit, you right. Ooh. So, as he developed this theory, Mr. Herman spent the entire weekend secretly observing Jimmy, and he was determined to catch him in the act of tampering with the bottles. Then on Sunday morning, February 9th, several caps popped off bottles of starch, turpentine, and the holy water, leaving the containers rocking back and forth on the shelves. So when these things blow up and it's a lot of pressure, it's weird.
Yeah.
Should not be happening. So Mr. Herman, he had kept a close eye on Jimmy, so he had no idea how his son could have tampered with the bottles without him seeing. So he's like, what the fuck?
It's not his son. It's not his boy.
Not his boy. That boy ain't right. Bobby. So, feeling baffled and, a little bit angry, Mr. Herman burst into the bathroom where Jimmy was brushing his teeth and accused him of rigging the bottles to pop.
You rigged the bottles.
I know you did. So, Jimmy tried to tell his father that he was innocent. He's like, because his dad burst in and he's like, I know you fucking did it. And Jimmy's like, I'm 12 and I'm brushing my teeth. What do you want? I didn't do nothing.
He's full of so many other hormones. He doesn't need to worry about that.
Exactly. Leave him alone. So, at that moment, as if to prove a point, Mr. Herman was startled to see a bottle of medicine suddenly move across the top of the sink and fall into the basin. A moment later, a bottle of shampoo also slid across the sink and fell with a thud to the floor.
Wow.
So that's fun.
That sounds fun.
What I love is that, still skeptical, Mr. Herman immediately examined the bathroom, searching for hidden wires or strings. So he sees this happen. He's like, nope.
Sounds like Alex.
It does sound like Alex. guys, we were watching Ghost Adventures earlier, and every time we watch a ghost show, anytime there's orbs, she's like, dust particles. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Enjoy the evidence. I have to crunch on the ice.
So strong.
How you doing, buddy?
I poured the rest of my tequila in here, and it was too much.
It was too much?
And then I knew that by the time that I knew it was too much, there wasn't enough left to save, so I just had to keep pouring.
Oh, no. You're going through it. Stay strong. Stay strong. So, he's looking for hidden wires and strings, doesn't find anything. And, after not finding anything, he finally realized that there, were things going on in the house that he could not explain.
Mm-hmm.
And so, unsure of what else to do, he ended up calling the county police department and spent the next several minutes on the phone trying to get the desk officer to take him seriously. So, when he heard the story, the officer thought it was some kind of joke. He's like, yeah, fucking right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Jim. What's his name?
James.
James. That's right.
This is your story.
Anyway.
We're doing this for the second time.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. He's like, what the fuck ever, James.
Yeah.
But he was soon swayed by the earnest tone of the man's voice, along with the fact that Mr. Herman had a pretty good reputation in the community. And so the police department sent someone over to investigate.
Yeah.
So Officer James Hughes went to the house feeling skeptical, but that soon changed. After only being in the house for a few minutes, he watched as several bottles in the bathroom popped their lids and fired them in his direction.
Oh.
So
That's...
Popper's ACAB, and I love that with all my heart, personally.
I love that.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Clink. So he quickly concluded that the Hermans did indeed need help.
Mm-hmm.
And so he booked it. He's like, peace. So Detective Joseph Tozzi, he was assigned into the case.
Tozzi.
So Tozzi is our boy.
Yeah.
Again, I think I mentioned last time, or the lost recording of this last episode. I just like to imagine like Fox Mulder X-Files. He's probably sitting in his office waiting for something to do. Guys maybe get annoyed by him. They're like, Tozzi, go fucking look at this. Get out of the office.
Yeah, but like,
just go.
Here's something to keep you busy for a minute.
Look, there's some aliens. Go get it. Which would be me as well.
Makes sense.
So, our boy Tozzi. Love him. He read Hughes's report of the incident in the bathroom with interest. Although he was skeptical and was relatively sure the Hermans were experiencing some kind of natural phenomenon, or that the popping bottles were getting help from a human source. So then on February 11th, Detective Tozzi began his investigation at the Herman house. The same evening, a bottle of perfume knocked itself over and spilled its contents in the daughter's bedroom.
Huh.
Which, that's never gonna get that smell out. That's in there forever.
Nope.
That
room
carpet's
is
done.
forever gonna smell.
Blech.
I wonder if it still smells. Like, even if they change the carpet. Like, if it just lingers.
Possibly. I'd say you have a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
Especially like 50s perfume. Ooh, that is there to stay. So, yeah, like at the time, no one was in the room. And over the next few days, these disturbances seemed to center around the bottle of holy water in the parents' bedroom. On several occasions, the lid of the bottle popped off, and once after hearing the distinct sound, Mr. Herman dashed into the room and found the bottle on the floor. So he picked it up and found that it was hot to the touch.
Ooh.
Which is really fucking weird.
That's not cool.
Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like that.
I'm liking the ACAB, not as much the hot holy water.
Yeah.
Deal? Cool. So, later that same day, on February 15th, the activity took another turn. As the Herman children were watching TV in the living room with their cousin, a porcelain figure on an end table next to the couch began to wiggle.
Nope.
And then it shot 2 feet in through the air.
Nope.
Making a loud crashing sound as it landed on the floor. But
don't like that.
It did not break.
Don't like that at all.
Which I'm personally imagining like the Precious Moments figures. Just
I hate those. Yeah.
Are you Popper?
Maybe.
Eating
sounds
the Precious Moments.
Sounds about right. Yeah, it was me. It was me. I was the one. I was the poltergeist in the house,
You were the
popping
ACAB
bottles.
poltergeist.
Popping bottles all the time. You know?
Thank you for this.
It's me.
Popping bottles like a G6. No, I'm
Yeah.
flying so high. I can't remember the rest.
We couldn't ever remember.
Take me back to 2010.
It's
Okay.
not.
So after this last demonstration, the Hermans decided to turn to another source for comfort. So they contacted Father William McLeod of the Church of St. William for help. And as devout Catholics, the Hermans believed that the church could help, where ordinary methods had failed.
Yeah.
So they're like, enough of your science.
Enough science. Now we gotta get God into this.
Boosh. So Father McLeod, he came to the house and sprinkled holy water in each of the rooms. Unfortunately, Popper, as the poltergeist came to be known, had decided that he did not want to leave. It's like, nah. Good fucking luck, buddy.
I feel that.
Big moon, big moon.
But like, you're trying to get me out? I'm gonna be even more stubborn and stay.
My petty queen.
I love it.
Yes, yes. So during the 2 weeks since Popper had first made his appearance in the Herman house, news of the strange happenings had leaked to newspapers, radio, and television reports. The story received a great deal of publicity, even meriting articles in Time and Life magazines.
Wow.
Weird. This is when the family became the center of public attention, and this wasn't a good thing, as during the day the Herman home was surrounded by reporters, photographers, curiosity seekers, and an astounding array of television equipment. So this just blows up and they're like, well, fuck.
It's too much attention.
Too much attention. Okay.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
When I have too much attention, I'm just like, I'm going to go into the mountains and disappear.
Last weekend we went into the mountains and screamed.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Ba-da-da-da. So mountain screaming, While the Hermans managed to get used to these intrusions into their lives, they weren't quite prepared for some of the strangeness that came with it. Letters and telephone calls came every day.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them proposed logical solutions, while others assured the Hermans that Martians had landed nearby, or that the problem in the house was the spirit of a long-dead Native American chief, or...
It's always a dead Native American chief. It's always.
We've talked about this. It's...
Why do they always bring that up?
White people?
White people.
White people.
They're just like, let's blame
everyone else.
everyone else.
Yeah. Rest in pieces.
Rest in
Alternatively,
pieces.
it could have been that the Russians were tunneling under Long Island to invade New York.
Got me there.
You got me there. See?
Got me there.
Boosh. Amazingly, the Hermans managed to stay patient with everyone, as they never turned away anyone, and they listened attentively to all the calls and suggestions that came in.
I could never.
Right?
Can't relate.
Because I guess they'd get calls and people just shout repent into the telephone at midnight. Or others would be like, the Sputniks are here.
I don't.
Love that, personally.
Should I just call you randomly in the night? And just be like, the Sputniks are here.
Do it. I'll be like, fucking finally. So, soon, Tazi, our boy, his case file grew thicker and thicker with added notes, observations, research, and the facts that he collected. At one point, he had been walking down the basement stairs with Jimmy when a bronze statue of a horse weighing
That's
nearly
right.
100 pounds
100 pounds.
flew across the basement and hit the detective in the legs.
I would die the moment that thing hit me.
Right.
I would just be like, I'm done. I'm out. Goodbye.
Fuck you. Fuck your poltergeist. Fuck your science.
Fuck your science.
Fuck
I'm
your
out.
science. I'm out. And so Jimmy had been nowhere near the statue and no one else was down there. Which I'm just... That's so rude.
I'm just imagining the old school 90s special effects of it just
Yeah!
straight ahead, just hitting them in the leg.
Please, for the love of God, give me Goosebumps level.
Yeah!
Guys, Goosebumps is on Netflix, and I've had the theme song stuck in my head this week. Did the dog with the eyes ever freak you out in the opening? When its eyes turn yellow? It's like da 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 da. Goosebumps.
No.
No? We have to watch
No.
Goosebumps.
We should.
I forgot how dated it was.
It's so good. I watched it. I watched so much of it last year, but we should watch it.
Agreed.
I think I could force my attention on it. Maybe.
It's fun as like background noise even.
Yeah.
Cause like.
Or like if you're just like drinking with some friends and you just want to watch it.
Yes.
We're drinking.
Goosebumps and chill. Done.
Goosebumps
Boom.
and chill.
Love. So yeah, basically, just imagine the 90s horse statue flag.
Yeah.
Hitting you in your kneecaps because I don't know why. Very rude.
It's very rude. 100 pounds. I'm still not over that. Why even have a horse that a statue? Why even have a statue of a horse that weighs so much?
To throw at detectives' legs, apparently. Duh.
I need a statue of a horse.
That weighs 100 pounds.
No, I need a statue of J-Hope that weighs 100 pounds.
I'm on it. Got you.
Love that boy.
J-Hope.
He's so good.
Always living.
Broke his face.
So. Yeah, this bust kneecaps, you know. This is when Tazi gets down to business. And so you may be wondering, my fellow listeners, what could possibly be causing these bottles to pop?
What is it?
So he had checked with the Air Force, and after studying their flight plans, they told him that sonic booms from passing jets could not have caused the disturbances. So check that off. He also ruled out radio waves by contacting the Radio Corporation of America. The Long Island Lighting Company had set up a delicate oscilloscope in the basement, and that just detects vibrations. And so they detected no underground vibrations. Building inspectors from the town of Hempstead pronounced the house structurally sound.
Mm-hmm.
The Seaford Fire Department even inspected a well on the property to see if changes in the water levels could be causing the disturbances. However, they found that the water level had been stable for at least 5 years. Although
crazy.
Puzzled, Tazi remained determined, and he tried valiantly to discover a source for the happenings.
I love that he's just so hardworking.
Everything. This is I think the first time I've heard of a detective like doing this much shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fox Mulder, who Detective Tazi,
right? We stand Tazi, I guess.
He's chill.
He seems chill, but I would still hit him with a horse.
Show him who's boss. The pecking order.
Yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, he's just going all the way.
Yeah.
So he finally found hope in a letter from a woman named Helen Connolly. She wrote that she had experienced odd events in her living room, where chairs and furniture moved about.
Oh yeah.
However, she didn't have a ghost in her house, but rather a heavy downdraft through her fireplace.
That's right.
And when she capped the fireplace with a rotary metal turbine, the activity stopped.
That's right.
So they're like, holy shit, maybe this is it.
This is the thing.
This could be our golden goose. So Mr. Herman immediately had one installed in his own chimney, hoping that doing so would solve the mystery. But
Little
it
did he
wasn't
know.
meant to be.
Little did he know.
Little did he know. Soon after the workmen completed the installation, they all witnessed a porcelain figure launch itself from a table and smash against a desk.
I would never. I would be out. I would just be like, I'm out.
I'm done. Boosh.
Goodbye.
The figurine had managed to travel a distance of more than 12 feet, and it left a dent in the wood.
A dent in the wood.
Like, damn, okay.
Someone's angry.
Precious moments who, bitch?
Right?
Not anymore.
Precious memories of the past. I guess.
It'd be like that.
It do be like that.
It'd be like that. So, on February 20th, events became even more violent. Another figurine was smashed against the desk. A bottle of ink popped its screw cap and then sailed into the air and splashed its contents on the wall. So ink goes flying everywhere.
That's not going to be easy to clean.
No, this is all very rude. A sugar bowl flew off the table under the watch of Detective Tazi. It had been close to Jimmy, but not within his reach. And needing a break, the Herman family spent the night with a relative. So during that time, Tazi stayed in the house, but the rest of the night passed without any incidences.
Understandable, though.
But when the family returned the next evening, the sugar bowl again flew off the table, but this time it shattered into pieces.
Who did they anger?
That's the weird thing about this case is that it just like starts up suddenly and then
out of nowhere just ends.
Exactly. It's
I'm like wondering like who
weird.
was doing some random things, calling in something, and then finally was like, you know what, you need to go, and finally just like quietly told that spirit to leave.
You're on something.
You're like, I can't tell them it was me because they all are blaming the brother. Because I think for sure it's not the brother.
This poor kid, he's going through it.
He's just a scapegoat.
It's really sad. Poor
It
Jimmy.
is.
R.I.P. So on February 24th, Tazi was startled to his feet by the sound of a loud noise from Jimmy's room. No one had been in the room or near it, yet a large bookcase had managed to fall face down onto the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty terrifying.
That would be so terrifying. This is before they can like harness things to the wall for
Yeah.
protection.
And that's like a sturdy ass bookcase. This is like a 50s bookcase.
Yeah, those are heavy.
Oh, they're heavy. Damn. So the next night, while Jimmy was in his room doing his homework, his record player lifted and moved 15 feet across the room. Which I'd be fucking
Record
pissed.
player. 15 feet across the room.
Yeah.
That's too much.
That's too much. Y'all
That's
know how
too
expensive record players and records are?
Especially back then.
Like, don't get into records. It's so fucking expensive.
I could never.
You
I
already
don't-
have K-pop.
I don't need to add more stuff to my collections.
No, I don't know where you'd put it.
I need to sell stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what I would start with. My PS4? I don't need games.
Only
Only
games.
K-pop.
Only K-pop. Boom. So that happens because Popper's being rude, being a little bitch. Other instances, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Love this part. Included a small statue of the Virgin Mary that flew more than 12 feet and stuck to a mirror frame in the master bedroom. So
That's
fucking like
right.
ninja starred.
Ninja starred into the mirror frame.
Love that personally.
The Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Which is just, there's something so funny about a ghost ninja starring a porcelain figure.
That's insane. Especially since like nothing happened to the figure.
No, it's just like,
It's just perfectly just stuck
it's just stuck there.
into the frame.
Love that. That's talent right there.
That's truly talent.
There was also a bookcase filled with encyclopedias that was upended. A heavy glass centerpiece from the dining room table flew up and struck a cupboard. There was a world globe that shot down the hallway from Jimmy's room and just missed Detective Tazi.
That's crazy.
Tazi's going through it.
Yeah,
He's
it's
shit thrown
like
at him.
it's going after him so much.
I feel bad. He's just...
It's still not over the horse thing though. It's been a while since we've had to re-record this, and I'm still not done and over the horse.
How does one go back to living after getting their kneecaps hit with 100-pound horse?
Your kneecaps get smashed, and you're like, "Oh, this ghost did this to me." How?
Be fun at parties. Fun story.
Yeah, you got little braces on your knees. You're like, "Let me tell you what happened to me."
Hey, Tazi, what happened? Well.
This bitch be empty, and it got yeeted at me.
It did. You know, when you're a popper, you just eat a 100-pound statue.
I just can't believe that.
So, a little while later, a newspaper photographer who was at the house witnessed his flash bulbs lift off a table and fly through the air and strike a wall.
What?
Yeah, so the old tiny ones.
Yeah.
Popper just yeeted those two. He's like, no paparazzi. Bitch.
I can respect that.
Respect that.
No photographs, please.
No paparazzi. In addition, Popper had begun knocking on the walls to get attention. Although no one, I'm amazed, no one made any attempts to communicate with the ghost.
Well, no wonder he's just like, yo, talk to me. Gotta yeet this horse for you to talk to me.
Which my dumb ass probably been like, let's communicate. 'Cause that's a good idea.
That would be the first thing you do.
I'm a simple boy.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm. So, Tazi had become concerned about the new violence in the disruptions. Until that point, the activity had been, relatively tame. Just throwing turpentine everywhere, the usual.
Understandable. Just popping all the bottles of the holy water.
Boosh. Done. He had explored every possible explanation that he could come up with and had turned up empty-handed. About this same time, the staff of scientists at the Parapsychology Laboratory at Duke University, North Carolina, became interested in the events reported at the Herman home. The group of researchers had already compiled a massive evidence that supported the idea that certain people, under the right circumstances, could influence the behavior of objects without touching them. They called it psychokinesis, or PK.
Yeah.
So think of 11
Earthbound.
From... Oh, yeah, that works too.
That works too.
The Matrix, all those.
Mother 3.
Boosh.
Yeah.
Done.
I don't need video games.
Only K-pop.
Only K-pop now.
Tragic. I'm sorry.
Eventually I'll get out of K-pop if you get me back into the biking anime, but
Biking,
not
biking,
today.
biking.
Not today.
But another day. What if I draw you a bunch of fan art?
I don't need fan art.
I'm already drawing, so I might as well.
Draw me fan art of my K-pop boys. On bikes.
Okay.
That will make a bridge for our interests.
I did see this one post. It was on Twitter. It was like, with the Drawtober, it was like, just flats. Just do flats. Repeat after me. Just do the flats. It's like, just gonna shade and do everything. I'm like, fuck.
Is that you? Is that you? It's her. It do be like that for Kate.
It's the crippling OCD.
Ah. My OCD doesn't do that to me. It makes me neurotic with picking my skin and hair.
I understand. I can't. There's never hairs on my chin because I'll be touching, and if I feel something,
you must yank.
Mm-hmm. I get up from my chair a lot at my desk to go to my mirror and do that.
I like wearing masks because it makes it harder for me to actually do it.
Oh, that's smart.
But then when I take off the mask, that's immediately the first thing I do is what is on my face? What
mine's just breaking out. It's a fun time. I love it.
You're just breaking out under your mask and you're like, can't wait to take this off and just attack.
Cystic acne, here we are.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Acne sucks.
Acne sucks. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. So, as the disturbances at the home continued, Dr. J. Grather Pratt traveled to New York and arrived at the Herman house on February 26th. Your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Your birthday.
I was 59 at that time.
Negative 59.
I was 59 at that time. In 1958.
You've seen shit.
I've been through shit.
You've been through shit. What face cream do you use? Just FYI. Just question.
The blood of virgins.
Okay.
No,
Checks
I don't.
off.
Just moisturizer. Just regular moisturizer.
There's no just regular moisturizer. You know this. You're just talking about acne. You know this.
I do know this.
So, on your birthday, he's like, here I am. Hello. What's up? So, Pratt believed that someone in the house was unknowingly causing the strange events to occur. Meanwhile, other researchers came to believe that the incidents in the house were caused by an actual ghost or a poltergeist. So, one half is like, I think it's a person. The other half is like, nah, it's a fucking ghost. Question mark. Who knows?
I feel that.
Right? On the other hand,
Got
strong...
the two little, the angel and demon on your shoulder.
Poltergeist. Humans. Says PK something. Who knows?
Supernatural people or supernatural unpeople? Unpeople. That's a word I can use, I guess.
Ghosts are now unpeople.
They're unpeople.
Someday we'll be unpeople.
I can't wait to be an unpeople. How did I get my cable stuck to me? Get out of here.
Guys, we just got so tangled in our cables. Okay. So, On the other hand, strong evidence remained for the idea that there was a human component behind the haunting.
Like someone died.
Someone died. Possibly. We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It had been noted by the Duke researchers that an adolescent child, usually a girl, was almost always among the members of the household being plagued by poltergeist phenomena. They believed it was possible for this young person... they believed it was possible that this young person might be capable of psychokinesis during the height of puberty. Big mood. You're going through a lot.
A lot is happening to your body.
The world is out to get you personally.
Why not have some, while you're at your weak points, have someone try to, like, harass you?
As a treat.
As a trick.
Oh. Ah.
Halloween, baby.
Soon.
Bless
Hello.
you.
Thank you. Da-da-da-da. So, in every case, though, the young person might be unaware that she or he was unconsciously causing the events to happen, making them as bewildered as the adults around them. Mm. In the case of the Herman house, Jimmy was at or near the scene of the poltergeist disturbances for more than 75% of the time, which was pretty weird.
He lives there.
You're right. I recant my statement. For many incidences, he was also the sole witness. However, Detective Tozzi had cleared the boy of deliberately causing any of the disturbances.
And he didn't. There was no way to prove that he did any of it.
Yeah, because he didn't do shit.
Yeah, he was just there.
Being 12, brushing his teeth.
Yeah. Mm. I'm like, what else are you going to do? Get a job? You
it's
could.
The 50s.
You could. A hard life.
It'd be like that. So, while the researchers were visiting, they observed Jimmy, but saw no signs of stress or high emotions in him, which be usually related to the PK stuff. Uh-huh. And weirdly enough, there was no signs of strangeness during their visits. So they didn't see anything while they were there. And things were quiet for the next several days. As Popper is like, I don't want to perform.
I'm bored now, since I've done everything I need to get all of the reactions I wanted.
Are you Popper?
Stop calling me out.
Am I really calling you out if it's true, though?
Yeah.
You're right, that's the definition. That I am calling you out, yes. So Popper's like, fuck this. I'm not your circus monkey. Boosh. The usual. So then, on March 2nd, 1 month after Popper first arrived, he decided to make himself known again. So this is after, the researchers have left. Mm-hmm. All the Hermans were in the house to witness what took place.
Okay.
First, a dish vaulted from a kitchen cabinet and shattered onto the floor. Then a night table flipped over in Jimmy's room.
A night table.
I don't know what that is exactly.
Like a nightstand?
Oh!
That's what I would imagine. But yeah.
Yeah, so Popper's like,
yeet. I was just shocked that a table, he got a small table, yeeted it. And then the dish in the kitchen. Did he open the cabinet and chuck it? Or was it the force of the dish that chucked open the cabinet door?
That is a good question, because I think the dish came out of the kitchen cabinet and then fell to the floor. So something I think from the inside pushed out.
Okay, so the force. And so it wasn't two incidents where that opened and then that opened. It was.
Yeah, I think simultaneously.
Yeah.
Good question though. So
I need to know things.
Then the night table, nightstand just yeeted in Jimmy's room. Mm-hmm. So Popper is back, but there was still no explanation as to what was going on.
It makes no sense.
2 days later, a bowl of flowers slid down the dining room table and jumped into the air.
Flowers or flour to make bread?
Flowers like a
bouquet?
Vase, I think. Like a vase of flowers.
Like a bouquet
that just
of flowers.
Slid down the dining room table and then just jumped in the air.
Oof.
And I think broke.
Makes sense.
That's a waste of flowers.
That's sad.
Popper, that's not nice. There was also a bookcase that was turned over in the cellar, which I'm not about.
I don't like that. That's just...
Jinx.
There's too much going on right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
Mm-mm. Oh,
Too
thank
heavy.
you. So, this would not be Popper's last performance. That event would occur on March 10th.
Oh.
Are you ready?
I know so many people's birthdays on March 10th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
A lot of Pisces.
Ah, gotcha. Popper's a Pisces, apparently.
Probably.
So,
or an Aquarius. We don't know.
Same energy. So, on March 10th, while Mrs. Harriman, Jimmy, and Lucille were getting ready for bed, Mr. Harriman, he was away on business. They were getting ready for bed when suddenly they all heard a loud popping sound in the cellar. So they hurried downstairs to see what it was. There, they found that a bleach bottle sitting on a cardboard box in the middle of the room had somehow lost its plastic lid.
That's not cool.
So they come down, this bottle of bleach is opened, it's on top of a cardboard box in the middle of the room.
That's how I decorate my Animal Crossing home.
Thank you for that.
Cardboard boxes and bottles of bleach.
See that, and then I have my little murder basement with a Silence of the Lambs well and blood stains. It's fun.
I do
and
love
one
that.
sock.
I love that.
Thank you.
Your basement's beautiful.
I worked so hard. Love it. And just in time for Halloween. But it was well before Halloween when I made it. Anyway. So, for reasons unknown, this became the last act of Popper the Poltergeist. There had been a recorded 67 instances between February 3rd and March 10th.
67's a lot.
And it's like a short amount of time.
That's very...
Like, that's a little bit over a month, which is
yeah.
bonker bananas. So, the Hermans have been visited by detectives, building inspectors, electricians, plumbers, firemen, parapsychologists, and yet none of them have been able to present a satisfactory explanation for what had occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So, weeks after the household returned to normal, experts still came to investigate and theorize about what had happened.
Yeah.
But at this time, like, the Hermans, they had just had enough. They're like, we just want to go back to normal, leave us alone, please and thank you. And they no longer cared about why the disturbances happened. They were just happy it was over.
Denial.
Love it.
No need to know as long as everything's fine.
It's the 50s.
Yeah.
We're doing great. And I guess Mrs. Harriman told an Associated Press reporter, quote, "I don't think there is a definite solution. It was just one of those things with no rhyme or reason to it. But there was definitely a physical force behind it," end quote.
Huh.
So, what happens? We still don't know. But fun fact, this case is one of the inspirations for the movie Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Which...
It's also slightly haunted.
Yes, we'll have to do a story on that one.
Yeah.
Later.
I was going to do that forever ago, but...
I did the curse.
I did the Omen.
Omens.
Yeah. That was a good one, too. But yeah, that was such a good story. I love that.
Is Popper the Poltergeist, not Pooper.
Yeah. It's me.
It's you.
It's literally me.
Pooper Scooper.
Popping bottles like a G6.
Good G6. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna...
Let's take a break.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that recording right? Is this recording right?
Are we doing this again?
I don't know.
We've done this for a year. We know what we're doing.
Oof.
Okay.
Let's see.
And now we gotta put the camera back on. Oh.
Are you okay, buddy? We're doing great, guys. We're back with a vengeance.
Let's hope I don't choke myself more than necessary.
Question mark. You okay there, Sonic?
Stop. I'm gonna shave my head.
No, then your mom won't give me a Christmas present.
No, if I shave my head, you still get a Christmas present.
Okay.
If you shave my head, you don't.
Okay.
So you can be there as emotional support. You don't have to touch the razor.
Okay, deal.
Okay.
Okay.
You wanna?
Alright.
You wanna hear a story?
I do miss drunk as a skunk.
I am not drunk as a skunk. I have never skunked. I don't know what happened. So,
I'm ready.
You've heard this story before. Let's see how well I can do this story for the second time.
Let's see how much I remember.
Yo. Okay. So I'm doing this story on a very familiar, a very popular serial killer, one of the most notorious ones. It's on the Green River Killer, who was born as Gary Leon Ridgway. He was born on February 18th, 1949. Oh my gosh, I just remembered that was Hobie's. That was the thing I said last time. I was like, it's Hobie's birthday.
I can't believe Hobie and the Green River Killer have the same birthday.
Is it February 18th? Yeah.
You should know this. It's almost like you don't like K-pop.
It's like I don't spend my whole time staring at J-Hope the whole time
J-Hope?
that I survive. I don't know anymore. Words are hard. I don't know how to speak.
We have a podcast.
We have a podcast. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Welcome to our TED Talk.
So he was the Green River Killer. He was initially convicted on 48 separate murders, but part of his plea bargain was where after adding another conviction, it brought up the total number of convictions to 49.
I'm sorry, 49?
Mm-hmm. That he was convicted for.
Holy shit.
He's the second most prolific serial killer in the United States history.
Right.
Yeah. Because of the confirmed murders.
For how many?
And that's only the ones that are confirmed.
Yeah, so that's the scary part.
Who fucking knows for real? He's still alive. He was born in Salt Lake City. Can you believe that? Our little city over here.
Unfortunate.
Breeding serial killers. Who knew?
Tee-hee-hee.
I'm not from here, so it's fine.
No, lucky.
Yeah, sorry.
I understand.
Yeah, but so his crimes, they began in the 80s and they ended in the late 90s.
I forgot how it was a shorter time period, right?
It was from 1982 to 1998.
Okay, 82, 90.
16 years.
Okay.
See, I'm the math guy. I can do math. And I can drive. To an extent.
I can draw sometimes.
You can draw. I cannot draw anymore.
I can't write.
I can kind of
write.
Words.
You can write.
Sometimes. Not very well. People say I do, and I'm like, I don't believe.
You do good words.
I don't do good words.
You do good words.
My words are hard.
Words are hard in general.
Words are hard in general. Anyways, back to the Green River Killer. Let's go.
This fucker. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Let's start with his early life because I'm lazy. Okay. He was born February 18th, 1949, Salt Lake City, to Mary and Thomas Ridgways. He was the second of 3 sons that they had. His home life was very troubled from what we've been told. His relatives would say that his mother was domineering, and while young, he had witnessed more than one violent argument between his parents. His dad was a bus driver. Oof, I keep hitting this. His dad was a bus driver who would often complain about the presence of sex workers.
That's probably fine.
That's maybe.
That's not
gonna affect his psychological stuff later on, you know. Right? It also probably doesn't help that he had a bedwetting problem until he was 13.
Oh, shit.
He was just a little bit older than Jimmy, but he was still pissing his pants.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good sign of everything being all right.
Well, it's usually a sign that there's a lot of abuse happening in the childhood. Mm-hmm. Not childhood, in the child's life. During their childhood.
There we go. Boom.
So he would later tell his defense psychologist that as an adolescent he had conflicted feelings of anger and sexual attraction towards his mother, and often fantasized about killing her because when he would wet his bed, his mother would wash his genitals every time. So I'm like, that's just really rude. I'm like,
I don't
that
like
after a certain time, you have your consent, you have your free will. You can speak out to that, and like when someone doesn't respect that and doesn't give you that space to do and have the privacy that you need, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's. Ooh.
I hate that. I hate that a lot.
I don't like that.
So Ridgway, he was dyslexic. I try to add more orange juice to my tequila sunrise, and it's not helping me at all. It's not helping at all. Words. Thank you. You are the best. Best I've ever had.
I got you, babe.
He was dyslexic, was held back a year in high school, and then when he was 16, he had stabbed a 6-year-old boy who survived the attack.
I'm sorry, when he was 16, he stabbed a 6-year-old boy?
Yeah. I'm like, that's rude. Okay, like if you're 16, you stab a 16-year-old. You don't go for someone that much smaller than you.
Yeah, Jesus.
You're overcompensating there. When I was 13, I stabbed a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Your mom, she was like, what, 8?
Third
7?
grade? To be fair, that kid had it coming.
But they were also your mom's age.
I think they were like a year or two older.
Even better.
Exactly.
They deserved it.
To be fair, this girl came up and...
She asked for it. She literally
said,
like,
fucking stab me, Vanette. And my mom's like, okay.
I'm like, she asked for it. There's no reason for your mom to get that restraining order.
Exactly.
Your mom deserves all the good things in life because she's just living up to like she's living her truest life. She's doing what she's being told, and like it just shows it what a good person she is.
Oh yeah. She's like,
I love her.
Bitch.
Yeah, so apparently he had led the little boy into the woods and then stabbed him through the ribs into his liver. Yeah. But he survived, which is amazing. Could you imagine
I'm so glad.
Like growing up later on, but like, yeah, I got stabbed as a child by a guy who's like later on became a serial killer. I'm like, fucking
that's the
what?
girl that my mom's she probably embellishes the story now.
Probably.
This redhead stepchild came out of nowhere and stabbed me.
Your mom is like now like a suburban housewife.
Oh yeah.
She's living the dream.
She's living the dream. Love my mom.
She's amazing. I love your mom too. So his IQ, Ridgway's IQ was recorded as being in the low 80s.
Okay.
But somehow he had graduated from his high school in 1969 and married his 19-year-old high school girlfriend, Claudia Craig. He joined the U.S. Navy and was sent to Vietnam, where he served on a boat. Where he served on board a supply ship and saw combat. During his time in the military, he had frequently like visited a lot of sex workers and contracted gonorrhea. Although he was angered by this, he continued his activities without protection. Like a fucking dumbass. Fucking hate that about him. Like, who does that?
Dumbasses.
Yeah.
Boom. God damn. Fuck this guy.
I could say so much shit, but I'm just... So during his time in the military, that happened. And then while Ridgway was abroad, his wife had an affair. Okay, so his wife had an affair, and so their marriage ended within a year of them being together.
Damn, okay.
So when questioned about Ridgway after his arrest, friends and family described him as friendly but strange. His 2 first marriages resulted in divorce because of infidelities by both partners. His second wife, Marcia Winslow, claimed that he had placed her in a chokehold. But he was a nice and friendly guy. He was just a little weird. He just choked me sometimes. It's fine.
Huh.
Non-consensual choking isn't fine.
Have I heard this before? Pillars of the community.
It's fine. He's just a little strange. He just,
weird.
hurts me a bunch. Chokes me sometimes. That's fine.
This motherfucker.
And then
Fight.
it gets worse.
Oh.
He had become religious during his second marriage. Proselytizing. He would go door to door, reading the Bible aloud at work and at home, insisting that his wife follow the strict teaching of their pastor.
Can I push this guy off a cliff.
Right? He's still alive. We can push him off a cliff.
Let's go find him.
Let's go push him off a cliff.
We'll punch him.
He would also apparently frequently He would often frequently cry after sermons or reading the Bible. Despite his beliefs, Ridgway continued to solicit the service of sex workers and wanted his wife to participate in sex in public, and inappropriate places, sometimes even in areas where his victim bodies were later found.
No thanks.
Right?
I'm
like,
good.
There's one thing if you're like consensually into that kind of thing and you're like, hey, like, let's go find a place.
You a consenting adult? Cool.
Yeah, 2 consenting adults doing their own thing, like, whatever, that's fine. But, like, if you're trying to force your wife to do stuff like that, that's fucked up.
You're the worst.
Right? So, according to the women in his life, Ridgway had an insatiable sexual appetite. His 3 ex-wives and several ex-girlfriends reported that he demanded sex from them several times a day. That's too much. That's too much. Often he would want to have sex in public areas or in the woods, and then he later admitted to having a fixation with sex workers with whom he had a love-hate relationship with. I wonder why, after his dad complained about them the whole time in his childhood.
Where could that possibly come from?
Who knows where that could have came from?
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Remain a mystery.
Yeah. So let's see. He frequently complained about the presence of them in his neighborhood, but he also took advantage of their services regularly, and some had speculated that Ridgway was torn between his lust and his staunch religious beliefs, which makes sense. A lot of people do that, where, Ted Bundy became Mormon for a while.
That's right. He was a Republican.
We'll never forget that Ted Bundy was Mormon and a Republican. So with his second wife, Marcia, Ridgway had a son named Matthew. So throughout the 80s and 90s, Ridgway had believed to have murdered at least 71 teenage girls and women near Seattle and Tacoma, Washington.
I'm sorry, 71?
71 at least. In court statements, he later reported that he had killed so many that he had lost count. That's too many.
That's too many.
That's too many. That's like 1 or 2 a month. That's too many.
How?
Or like 1 every other month or something. 16
I think we did the
years.
math last time.
We did math. I'm not doing it anymore.
Me neither.
We don't have time for that.
We don't. The fuck?
Yeah, so most of them, the majority of the murders occurred in 1982 and 1984. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the majority?
The majority of those murders between, like, in those 2 years. That's too many.
No.
That's 48 months. That's not 48 months. That's 24 months for 2 years, 24 months. Let's say the majority was like maybe half of them. That's 35 at least. So that's like 1 or 2 a month. And it's too many. It's too many. So the victims were believed to be either sex workers or runaways, which he had picked up along the Pacific Highway South. So sometimes Ridgway would show the woman a picture of his son to trick them into trusting him. And
this fucker.
Right? I hate that they always did that. They always were like, have some sympathy. I have a child. Look at my child. But I'm the same way if you show me a picture of someone's like pet. I'm like, show me your cat. Show me your dog. I want to love them forever.
Guys, no one ever try and kidnap B because I will murder.
I would easily be kidnapped.
You would be.
I'm surprised I haven't been kidnapped yet.
Me too.
I'm too trusting.
You are.
I go into the woods with too many people.
You and Alex.
Yeah.
And Abby.
You know too many people who trust too well.
I do.
At least now I'm like, I don't speak to them. When they like try to talk to me, I just, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for always having my back.
I got you. So no one ever try and kidnap B because...
Now I have anxiety, so I can't talk to people like I used to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It
has nothing to do with these stories that we do. Nothing at all. Who knows?
It's fine.
Where was I? So, after he would gain their trust, he would have sex with them. And then after minutes of intercourse, Ridgway would wrap his forearm around their neck and use the other arm to pull back as tightly as he could, strangling them.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. It's terrible. Is it still too much?
Let's see.
It's because I'm like leaning on it.
There.
And I'm
There we go.
too comfortable to move.
I understand. I got you.
You're good. So he killed most of his victims in his home or his truck or in a secluded area. Then the bodies of them would often be dumped into the wooded areas around the Green River Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
Ah, there it is.
That's where we get the name. And then other dump sites within South King County. So there are also 2 confirmed and another 2 suspected victims found in Portland, Oregon, in that area. They were often left in clusters, sometimes posed, usually nude. He would sometimes return to the bodies and have sex with them, and he later explained that he didn't find necrophilia more sexually satisfying, but having sex with the deceased reduced his need to obtain a living victim. So it limited his chances of being caught because of that. It's like, I'm not into dead bodies, but like if I fuck this, I ain't gonna find another living body to fucking kill. So what's worse? Where do we draw the line of like, okay.
You know when everything's terrible?
Him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
He's
That's so much.
Yeah.
That's so much.
So apparently because most of the bodies were not discovered until only the skeletons remained, 3 victims are still unidentified, at least. He occasionally contaminated the dump sites with gum, cigarettes, written materials belonging to others, and even transported a few victims' remains across state lines into Oregon to confuse the police.
So. And his IQ was 80?
Yeah. I don't get it.
I mean, I know IQ tests are kind of like bullshit anyways.
Yeah.
But that's like... That's too smart.
That's something I would expect from like nowadays after all of the things that we have about serial killers that people can learn about with like media. With media, like of watching like movies, documentaries, whatever, listening to podcasts.
Forensic files.
Don't murder.
Don't murder.
You'll get caught. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, like he knew what he was doing. So 1980, the early 1980s, the King County Sheriff's Office formed the Green River Task Force to investigate the murders. It included members like Robert Keppel and Dave Reichert, who periodically interviewed incarcerated serial killer Ted Bundy in 1984.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my boy. I'm so glad he's dead.
Me too.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to live. He didn't deserve the sympathy and the infamy that he got.
Ted Bundy wasn't hot.
No, he was not hot. I am glad that he was electrocuted in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida.
So you can die happy knowing that he shit himself as he died.
Yes.
Cool.
I love that.
Me too.
So, Bundy offered his opinion on the psychology, motivation, and behavior of the killer, and suggested that the killer was revisiting the dump site to have sex with the victims, which turned out to be true. And if police found a fresh grave, they should stake it out and wait for him to come back. And then also contributing to the investigation was John E. Douglas, who developed a profile of the suspect. So I'm guessing this is like back in like pretty early on.
Pretty early profiling, right?
Yeah, very early profiling. Because I think it started like in the 60s maybe? 60s, 70s? I haven't kept up with Mindhunter. When was that? Or like, there was like a book about it too. I don't remember fucking shit. But yeah.
I knew true crime stuff.
Yeah, it's very early on. Still new technology of them. Still like figuring out why people do the things that they do. But so he was arrested in 1982 and then in 2001 on charges related to prostitution. He became a suspect for the Green River killings in 1983. And in 1984, he had passed a polygraph test. So,
that's because those are bullshit.
They are. It doesn't make sense why they even tried.
Doesn't hold up in court.
But back then, they just thought it might have been something. So,
Yeah.
So April 7th, 1987, the police took hair and saliva samples from Ridgway. So that way they had some material to connect him with the murders later on.
DNA.
Right? I love how DNA helps so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, 1985, Ridgway began dating Judith Mawson, who became his third wife in 1988. Oh, my brother was born in 1988. She had claimed in a 2010 television interview that when she moved into his house while they were dating, there was no carpet. And later on, detectives had told her that he had probably wrapped a body in that carpet. In the same interview, she described how he would leave for work early in the morning some days, saying apparently it was for overtime, but she speculated that he must have committed some of the murders while supposedly working those early morning shifts. Then she claimed that she had not suspected Ridgway's crime before she was contacted by the authorities in 1987 and had not even heard of the Green River killer before that time because she did not watch the news. Imagine not being informed about what's happening in your area. So, author Penny Moore had interviewed Ridgway in prison, and he said that while he was in a relationship with Mawson, his kill rate slowed down, and he truly loved her. Let's pretend that's real. Okay, sure. I don't think so. Of his 49 known victims, only 3 were killed of his 49 known victims, only 3 of them were killed after he had married Mawson. Mawson told a local television reporter, quote, "I feel I have saved lives by being his wife and making him happy," end quote. I hate that. I hate that so much.
I'm...
Like, how do you make this about you? How?
Once again, I know this is an audio show, but I have no fucking words.
I hate...
God damn. Who does that?
It's like, oh, me. I married a serial killer, but like, oh my gosh, I made him a better person by loving him. I'm rolling my eyes so hard.
I hate that.
Right? Okay. I swear I'm going to be over with this soon.
You're good.
So the DNA sample collected in 1987 were later subjected to the DNA analysis providing the evidence for his arrest warrant.
Nice.
So on November 30th, 2001, Ridgway was at Kenworth Truck Factory where he worked as a spray painter when the police arrived to arrest him. He was arrested on suspicion of murdering 4 women nearly 20 years earlier after first being identified as a potential suspect when DNA evidence conclusively linked semen left in the victims to the saliva swab that he had taken at the police office.
Oh.
So the 4 victims named in the original indictment were Marcia Chapman, Opal Mills, Cynthia Hines, and Carol Ann Christensen. 3 more victims, Wendy Caulfield, Deborah Bonner, and Deborah Estes, were added to the indictment after the forensic scientists identified microscopic spray paint spheres of a specific brand and composition of paint used at that same facility that he worked at during the specific time frame when those victims were killed.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Science.
It's great. I love science. Imagine if you paid attention to science.
Crazy.
Maybe Poppers wouldn't have happened if we believed in science.
You're right.
Or maybe he would have stayed longer. We will never know.
It's like Santa. If you don't believe he's not there. Tinkerbell. There we go.
Yeah, it's not Santa.
It's
fairies.
I'm here. I'm queer.
What if Santa was just a giant fairy?
Thanks for coming to our TED.
So, early 2003, Seattle Television News reported that Ridgway had been moved from a maximum security cell in King County Jail to an airway height minimum medium security level tank. Other news reports stated that his lawyers, led by Anthony Savage, were closing a plea bargain that would spare him the death penalty in return of the confession to a murder of the Green River murders. So November 5th, 2003, he entered a guilty plea to 48 charges of aggravated first-degree murder as part of his plea bargain, agreed to in June. So that would spare him execution in exchange for his cooperation in locating the remains of his victims and providing other details.
Mixed feelings on my
right. It's
murder, but also getting those remains and closure for the families.
Right.
Is very important.
I feel like the closure is probably the best thing about it. Yeah. Is that they know who did it. They know that the person who did it is now locked up and won't ever do it to anyone else.
Hopefully they can get, the bodies of their loved ones back.
Yeah.
As well.
But also, think of it as
knowing what happened.
Persona 5. First spoiler for Persona 5. But in the first castle, in the first level, when you can spare someone's life or you can have them pretty much go comatose or dead, there's a character who's like, I'm going to spare your life so then that way you'll suffer even longer. So it's kind of like that same kind of situation of he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. Know that everyone knows who he truly is. He can't hide what happened or who he is.
Murdered in prison. Murdered in prison.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where am I? I'm at home. In his statement accompanying his guilty plea, Ridgway explained that he had killed all his victims inside of King County, Washington, and that he had transported and dumped the remains of the two women near Portland to confuse the police. Let's see. Ooh.
You quit that.
I can't. Deputy Prosecutor Jeffrey Baird noted in court that the deal contained the name of 41 victims who would not be the subject of State versus Ridgway if it were not for the plea bargain. So the prosecuting attorney, Norm Malling, explained his decision into making the deal. We could have gone forward with 7 counts, but that is all we could have ever hoped to solve. At the end of the trial, whatever the outcome, there would have been lingering doubts about the rest of these crimes. This agreement was the avenue to the truth, and in the end, the search for the truth is still why we have a criminal justice system. Gary Ridgway does not deserve our mercy. He does not deserve to live. The mercy provided by today's resolution is directed not at Ridgway, but towards the families who have suffered so much.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So that pretty much sense. It's this is not about him. This is about getting that closure for everyone else. Yeah. We all know he's a piece of shit scum that should be dead, but to get everyone to understand what had happened to their loved ones, we had to do this.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fine in that way.
It's so late. I am so sleepy.
We're sorry, guys.
We're going to make it through it, I swear. So, July 8th. On December 18, 2003, King County Superior Court Judge Richard Jones sentenced Ridgway to 48 life sentences with no possibility of parole and 1 life sentence to be served consecutively. He was also sentenced to an additional 10 years of tampering with evidence for each of the 48 victims, adding 480 years to his 48 life sentences. Nice. So Ridgway led prosecutors to 3 bodies in 2003. On August 16th of that year, the remains of a 16-year-old girl was found in Enumclaw, Washington? I don't know. 40 feet from State Route 410, and it was pronounced as belonging to Pammy Annette Avent, who had been believed to be a victim of the Green River Killer. Then the remains of Marie Malvar and April Buttram were found in September of 2003. These happened, ended in 98, began in 84, still finding bodies in 2003.
That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. So in 2005, on November 23rd, the Associated Press reported that a weekend hiker had found the skull of one of the 48 women that Ridgway had admitted to murdering. in his 2003 plea bargain with the prosecutors. So the skull was another victim, Tracy Winston, who was 19 when she had disappeared from Northgate Mall on September 12th, 1983, and was found on November 20th, 2005 by that man hiking in the wooded area southeast of Seattle. So Ridgway had confessed to more confirmed murders than any other serial killer, yet over the period of 5 months of police and prosecutor interviews, he confessed to those 48, 42 of which were on the police list of probable Green River killer victims. And then So on February 4th, So on February 9th, 2004, a county prosecutor began to release the videotape records of Ridgway's confession. Are you going to keep every one that I mess up the date just because there's so many that happen right now?
July, December.
November. So, on February 9th, 2004, county prosecutors began to release the videotape records of Ridgway's confession. One of the interviews, he had told initially to the investigators that he was responsible for at least 65 women's deaths. Another taped interview with Reichert on December 31st, 2003, had said that Ridgway claimed to have murdered 71 victims and confessed to having sex with them before killing them, a detail that he did not reveal until after his sentencing. So in his confession, he acknowledged that he had targeted acknowledged that he targeted sex workers because they were easy to pick up and that he hated them the most. Very conflicted feelings about that. Not very conflicted. I hate that. He seems like he has conflicted feelings about that. And then he confessed to having sex with those victims' bodies after he murdered them, but claimed to begin burying the later victim so that he could resist the urge to commit necrophilia. And then he had later on said that murdering young women was his career. That is a path that no one should take. You can go into accounting.
Just get a career change, buddy.
Yeah.
Maybe don't
go to trade school.
Trade school, there we go.
Do a trade school. That's a thing that happens. I did that. Did I continue on with what I learned in trade school? No, but you can learn a thing about yourself at least. I give good massages. I want a massage. Anyways, so Ridgway was placed in solitary confinement at Washington State Planetarium. And he was not in a planetarium. He does not get to look at the stars.
No.
So he was in Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla in 2004. And then on May 14th, 2015, he was transferred to the USP Florence High, which was a high-security federal prison east of the Canyon City So a high-security federal prison east of Canyon City, Colorado. In September 2015, after a public outcry and discussing with the governor, Jay Inslee, Corrections Security Bernie Warner announced that Ridgway would be transferred back to Washington to be easily accessible for open murder investigations. And so he returned by charter plane to Washington State in Walla Walla from the high-security federal prison in Florence, Colorado on October 24th, 2015.
Okay.
That was one day off. But yeah. So he has 49 confirmed murders.
That's so crazy.
3 of them at least that are not identified, which is the crazy part about it. That
reminds me of John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, there's so many.
Weren't ever identified, which is so sad.
It's so sad. I'm not gonna. I would love to name each one of them, but we are out of time. This is a very long podcast, and we are trying, Danny. We're trying not to make this so long. Maybe. I don't know. We're trying.
Doing our best, guys.
We're doing our best. So, apparently, before Ridgway's confessions, authorities had not attributed to the Green River Killers the death of a lot of let's see, it was 6 of the victims that he had.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't until like after his confession and directions that like a couple of the other bodies were found. Though most of them seem to have been found by like hikers and stuff too. So it's just really crazy how there's just so much that happened in this. There's a lot of people that had been suspected, a lot of victims that had been suspected to be murdered by him, but it hasn't been confirmed quite yet. But yeah, and then we could talk about how there's a lot of like popular culture stuff with him, but I'd rather not because he's a piece of shit and I'm also sleepy. Yeah.
Boom.
He's still alive, so let's push him off a cliff.
Attention, anyone in the same prison as him. I'll give you $20.
I'll get you an edible.
Oh, there we go.
It's legal in Washington. We can definitely do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah. I'll drive to Washington right fucking now. I'll say hi to Danny, and then we'll push some serial killers off a cliff.
I like this plan.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. And then we can go to the shore. I think it's in Oregon. To the Goonies.
That's right.
And then we can go visit that house. You can't take pictures like on the driveway anymore because people actually live in that house, but you can take a picture from afar. That's what I did last time I went there.
I'll do it.
It'll be fun. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I like this plan. Nice.
Nice.
That would be such a good story.
It's so much. I can't believe this man, and he's still alive.
Which is
for now.
Makes sense why, but still, like, I guess I never realized like how many victims he did have.
There's so many, and like so many that are still unidentified. So many that they haven't been able to connect to him yet.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Like, I know it's like less than half, but like still way too many.
Too many.
Too many.
Too many. As a rule of thumb, too many.
Too many.
Too many. Dang.
Anyways.
Well, my dear friend, do you have a song rec?
A song recommendation?
Recommendation request.
What did I do last time? Was it Dynamite? Was it Black Swan? Was it?
Fucker, what was it? I think you've already done Dynamite.
I probably did because that song's a banger. And it's been out for a hot minute, and I usually try to do like their latest song. It doesn't help that I don't remember what I recommended last time. Was it Blueberry Eyes by Max featuring Suga of BTS?
I don't think so.
That's such a good song. Have you listened to it? It is so good. I will make you watch the music video another day.
Okay.
I love it.
Deal.
It's so good.
I'm scared, but deal.
I'll watch one episode of Biking Anime if you watch that music video.
Oh.
You can choose any episode because I've watched them all already 4 years ago.
You are right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bike Hell.
Bicycling anime. It's so good.
Watch it, guys.
Watch it if you're into that kind of stuff.
Okay,
like
so what's your
friendship.
Song? Like friendship.
Blueberry Eyes by Max. It's such a good song.
I think I'm gonna do... What have I been listening to this week? I think I'm gonna do Techno Cumbia by Selena. Cause that's...
I love Selena. She's so good. I love her. I miss her every day.
Big mood. The entire Amor Prohibido album is a fucking bop.
It's so good.
It's one where she's really pretty on the album cover.
She's so pretty.
She's so pretty.
I remember being like really young and staring at it and being like, I love her. I don't understand this feeling that's stirring inside of me. That's the same feeling I get when I look at Enrique Iglesias. But I love her and I would risk it all for her.
I understand.
But I was too late. I'm sorry.
This podcast took a dark turn.
This podcast is a dark turn. We've been turning this whole time.
I think it was like the intensity in your eyes as you said that.
Me as a 5-year-old realizing that she's dead already. And I'm just like,
saved her.
I could have been the one. Maybe in a past life.
Mm.
No, I would have been, no. Well, maybe in a past life if I had died like right before.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was reincarnated into this chaotic bisexual who could have saved her.
Watch Bicycle Anime and
Watch Bicycle Anime.
Listen to Selena.
Listen to Selena. She's so good. I miss her.
I
I miss her every day.
Big
Stan J-Hope.
Stan J-Hope.
Stan J-Hope. You know, that's all that matters is J-Hope. Look at that face. Does it look like I'm caressing his face?
It does. It's beautiful. If you guys want to get into contact with us, you can email us at tipsymysteries@gmail.com. You can hit up our Twitter and Instagram at Tipsy Mysteries, and our YouTube at Tipsy Mysteries.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. You're welcome.
We try.
We try. Do you have any parting words of advice?
Don't drink tequila. It's been a rough couple months.
I understand.
I'm finally done with my tequila. Thank God. That was a big bottle.
This is a big bottle.
Usually I don't buy bottles that big, but it was a
big
fancy
boy.
bottle. It was a good bottle.
It's a good bottle.
Don't drink. We'll drink for you. I'll drink for you.
There we go.
We've got it for you.
We got you.
I'm going to finish this before I go to bed, and I'm going to regret it.
Regret everything. I have like a weird headache. I'm like, I didn't even have that much. It's like this much vodka.
That much vodka. That much vodka.
We're doing great, guys. Well, I think that's it from us.
Yeah. Guys, be safe and watch your bicycling animes.
Watch your bicycling animes.
Your emotional support bicycling anime.
Watch bike anime.
I love how you got into it too. I love how Alex came into the house and she's just like, bike anime.
Bike anime. I'm like, well.
And I was like, where was this conversation 4 years ago?
Seriously. The fandom is dead. Everything's fine. Go watch it, guys. Please.
We need to start a revival.
Revival. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.